This is the Little Moments Count radio podcast, created in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. Each episode, you'll hear interviews with early childhood experts on how to support the important brain development that takes place in the first 1,000 days of life, just through little moments every day. Learn more at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.
It's FM 89.9, KMOJ, Walter Q. Bear Banks Jr. Got you on the afternoon drive, taking you where you're going to. It might be where you just came from, and letting you know that every other Tuesday we jump into it and let you know when it comes to Little Moments Count. And Little Moments Count is brought to you in part in partnership with Little Moments Count and KMOJ Radio. It is a statewide collaborative focusing on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development for the first 3 years of a little one's life. Now, we're talking about nearly 80% of the brain growth happens in that first 1,000 days of a small person's interaction. And we're talking like talking, playing, reading, singing, anything that has some physical kind of motion to it. That's exactly what we're talking about. And letting you know that if you like more information, you can visit at littlemomentscount.org. And this early afternoon, we got Danielle Buckner here in the studio and representing as a early childhood system coordinator at the Northside Achievement Zone. And I'd like to say good afternoon to you, and how are you doing?
I'm good. Good afternoon. How are you?
About 6'3" and chilling.
Of course.
No doubt, no doubt. But for the listening audience, I was looking at the information that they had sent me. There's a thing about doing the early childhood systems coordinator for Northside Achievement Zone. What exactly is that, or what is that job description or title?
Yeah, so I joined NAS about a year and a half ago, and I am helping lift up their early childhood initiatives. It is me and our director, so we are a main team of two, and we help our families who are connected to NAS get early childhood childcare, but also our newest initiative is offering doula services to families who are expecting little ones.
Now, explain to us the doula, because we talked a little earlier, and you was giving me some breakdown theories of what doulas are.
Yeah.
And I've been enlightened a lot further than I've known to know about what a doula may be.
Good. So doulas are an advocate, and I like to say a mom to the mother during her labor and delivery process, but also in the postpartum process as well. And so doulas can show up as an advocate on behalf of the family, and they're not necessarily associated with the hospital. Some doulas are, but specifically in the birth and labor and delivery space, they act as an advocate to make sure every family's wishes are concerned. So if you're like, I would love to have a water birth, I would love to go all natural, I would love to only be me and my partner in the room and no in-laws or anything like that, we make sure that happens, all while working with holistic labor movement and different approaches so that those wishes can be conveyed.
So what got you working into that space or that area, or saying, this is some space that I like to reside in?
Yes. So as some know, the maternal death rates are really high when it comes to morbidities, and especially with Black and brown families. And so being a longtime Northsider, being a Black woman, and being a new mother, it was a calling I felt led to explore more and offer these services specifically to Black and brown families here in North Minneapolis.
So now, being a new mother, what did you find out from the process of, the birth itself? But then did you do the doula side and go in that direction?
I did.
Or did you go...
did.
Talk to us.
I did. Like I said, the mortality rates are really high amongst Black and brown women, and research has shown that if you have a doula and an advocate in the space with you, some of those morbidities rates can go down because of simply having a doula in the space. And so I was fortunate enough to be able to have a doula. Shout out to Tab Treadway. She came out of retirement and helped my husband and I bring our baby Earthside, and was able to do that in a safe, serene, and sacred way.
And when you talk about husband and I, who's that young man that, and is he tall or is he short?
He's a tall drummer from the North Side. Arthur L.A. Buckner. I said his last name wrong. Arthur L.A. Buckner. That is my husband, but also the big homie of the North Side.
Yeah, that drummer that's amazing. I'd seen him in a not necessarily a competition, but it was a battle back in the day over at the Minnesota Music Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like about 8 to 10 different drummers. And it was it was quite amazing.
Yeah.
But I've been knowing him all my life. And well, actually, I've been knowing him all of his life.
Yes.
But at the same time, I did not know that he was that, tooled when it comes to being a drummer.
Truly
and
gifted.
he was hitting some riffs that I've never heard before.
Yes, truly gifted. A teacher and an artist in his own right.
So now when it comes to the musical side and the singing side, where do you fall in the middle of that? Or do you leave that to the rest of the family?
Oh, I'm a great supporter. I'm a great supporter. I know what's good and I know what's not, but I leave that musical performance and vocal performance to the others.
And how important is it to be a supporter when it comes to family itself? Because we're talking about, the little ones and babies and growth at the same time.
Absolutely.
And we know what this world offers a lot of us.
Absolutely.
But then we see a lot of things in the process of growing. So talk to us.
That whole family system dynamic is super important, especially with our littlest learners. I love to go back to the village mentality like we used to have back in the day. I mean, I know I'm only 15, so what do I know about back in the day? But I know it's important for everybody to play their role as far as parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and pseudo relatives that, help in the nurturing of that, especially in the first 1,000 days with our newborns.
And what would you say to someone that's listening right now when you're talking about the medical field, when you're talking about being a doula, when you're talking about, just helping others and just being on point? Not just family itself, but community at large.
Yeah, offering support, whether that's offering education in spaces. If you have a small business, allowing families to or get education from doulas. If you know a doula, support a doula. If you know any birthing organizations, support them, especially if they're Black and brown families. That piece is really, really important in those birth spaces, and we have to protect our families that way. Birth is sacred. But Black birth, I will say, is a form of a radical movement, and so keeping the Black family alive is very, very important.
So you're saying the family is family, and that's what family is.
Absolutely, that's the heart of the community right there.
And knowing both of our families and the connections in between. A lot of times our family is given to us. We don't pick and choose.
Absolutely.
And so when some times get rough and we want to argue with each other and have those debates, what would you say to those parents that are there that decide they want to have that argumentative debate, but in front of the children? Is that a taboo or is that talk to me?
Healthy arguing is good, but we have to focus on the healthy part. And sometimes that beef is not worth it. So grill it up and eat it and make sure you love on your loved ones because you need that village and you need that support.
Ladies and gentlemen, no doubt about it, Danielle Buckner. And I'd like to say thank you very much for stopping by KMOJ Studios. Yes. And we're talking about Little Moments Count. And if you like a copy of the show for today, all you need to do is lock in at littlemomentscount.org. And I want to say thank you very much once again. And if by chance, because you know how we Northsiders do, is any shout outs or anything you want to?
Well, I got to shout out my mom, Sherry or Sherry Hood and the Orr family. And then, of course, my Buckner family. Love all y'all. And our NAS family and our NAS workers that are doing the work out here for the community.
No doubt, no doubt. Thank you very much. And stay blessed. All right?
Thank you.
No doubt. It's FM 89.9 KMOJ. No doubt about it. It's the People's Station.
Thanks for listening to the Little Moments Count radio podcast in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. You can find the Little Moments Count radio podcast wherever you get your podcasts and at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.